by you, Dennis, if I wanted to be a liar.
Ooh.
Aw.
Okay.
So mean.
We are now live. Sorry for the lateness, everybody. My job was evil. But we're here. So, Dungeon Master Dennis, would you like to give us a quick recap of what we attempted last week?
Absolutely. And also, we should mention at the start, unfortunately, Sephi is unable to join us because, as you said, 2020 is just, it sucks. So we miss him and we hope he's taking care of himself. Yeah. But last time, well, something rather unfortunate happened. The city of Cosvelgrim is going through a little bit of a traumatic time at the moment. You had just returned from the small village of Fabrida to deal with a little job for a friend. You had basically allowed the now undead Christina Fabrida to return to her family estate and pick up the work that she was doing before she was killed by one of her siblings. To this date, you actually don't know which one of them did it, but she didn't really mind which one you killed. She wanted both of them out of the way. And you provided that service very efficiently and very creatively as well. You met up with a few new people in the town of Fabrida, Chemise Mill, a rather mysterious archaeologist, self-proclaimed archaeologist, who is looking to explore the ruins of Nelial, the forgotten city buried underneath the city that you currently call home, Cosvelgrim. You also encountered Sir Icarus, sometimes known as the Phoenix, a roach, a travelling knight of mercy who spends their time defusing tense situations and basically being a positive force in the world. Unfortunately, he's also a paladin of Asepsis, the anti-undead religion that has been, shall we say, problematic to you all over the past few weeks. You also met a dog, and pretty much it. It's just a dog. They've got a sword on their back, but, just a dog. You also met Tahu, a Kenku, who was a member of the August Sanctum, the not an Assassin's Guild from the city, who, along with his superior, Jasper, sent on some, basically handed over some items which you had been tasked with retrieving by a set of Dragonborn and Kobold bandits. Again, you can't quite remember the details of that, but it's not that important. You handed off the things you needed to hand off. You were paid literally in blood money, or money covered in blood. And you went back to the city where it was a little bit on fire. Apparently, a large number of different rival gangs who would normally not have any kind of real relationship with each other all seem to have been coordinated at the same time to attack different parts of the city. Most of this has been taken care of. The last few bits of actual violence you guys were able to deal with. The Grey Quarter, the place in the city that is home to the Undead Quarter, that was currently a little bit on fire. A bunch of troubled youths and individuals of questionable moral character, all wearing homemade asepsis robes. Your paladin friend, however, rather than join them, helped you in dealing with the conflict. At this point in time, the party is in 3 different groups. Your goblin associate, Wex Greenstride, aka Skullface, he is headed back home to his little house to the northern section of the city to prepare for his family's return. Jurnis, Tahu, and Graz, you are still currently in the Grey Quarter, waiting on Jurnis while she was having a little conversation with her undead friend, a priestess of Ilmata, Sister Dorit. Meanwhile, we are going to join Ang, Chemise, and the rest of the group as they are in the just outside the tavern that you all know as the Tardy Cairo. And I believe, again, in the last session where things did not quite go according to plan, you were having a conversation, Icarus and was it Chemise?
We started one, yes.
Yes. The floor is yours.
Trying to remember what you were doing.
I would say this is leading up towards the tavern, so this would just be as you guys are heading down the street, shall we say. So let's actually put you there for the moment.
Uh-huh.
I just realised when it was very quiet, I'd forgot to open Sirenscape.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, it's all good, it's all
There we
good.
go.
I mean, it's not like you're going to have to listen to this again for a while.
Oh,
We're
God.
in such
Oh, God.
I will say this, say what you want about last week and then to the clusterfuck that was. I'm really proud that I was able to pull that bit off.
Is that bit of music called Mad's Meditation?
You know what? It can be if you want. So, you guys are walking through the city at night. The fires are out. The rain is coming through fairly heavy. This is definitely a subdued city compared to what it usually is. I would say this actually, Sir Icarus, give me a basic perception check. Let's switch
Oh,
to
yes.
this.
Let's see how many people are giving me the stink eye.
There we
17.
are. Okay. As you are heading down the street, I would say you don't so much see people giving you the stink eye, but as you're heading down the road, out of the corner of your eye, you do notice pale, ethereal movement. And as you stop to look, you do on occasion see 1 or 2 ghosts flitting between the buildings.
Ghosts.
Yes. Nobody. I would say this is new to you.
Yeah.
You you stop to look, and you do see 1 or 2 of the city guards as they're walking past. One of them actually nods to the spirits, gives them a little 2-finger salute, not the rude kind, and they carry on walking past. Apparently, this is far more common in this city than you would have believed.
Well, now.
So,
That's... You'll have to forgive me, I'm very, very tired, so my brain is like running at like
Oh, no
25% speed.
It's completely
It's
okay.
not a problem, my friend, not a problem. So while Icarus is trying to process that, I assume you try to catch up with the rest of the group.
Yeah.
Do the rest of the group so like is there anything that Ang wishes to explain to the party as you're heading towards the tavern? You are technically the leader of this group at the moment, since Skullface has split off.
Mm-hmm.
What was wrong? I'm just feeling the weight of this consequence. I don't know. What would I be explaining?
Is there anything that you would wish to explain? You're basically, you are, for all intents and purposes, the guide for these new people as they are coming into the city. You do know that, I was going to say Tahu, but Tahu is not here with you. Yeah, because out of Chemise and Icarus and the dog, it's only you and Glorth who are really the experts of the city at this point. Would you be pointing out any of the local features? Would there be anything in particular that you think they probably should know about the city, or would you just be heading straight to the tavern?
I think for the moment, be heading straight to the tavern. He probably would be pointing out, well, at least the direction of the tavern that we always congregate at.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Probably talking about the Black Keep and how the city works and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay. So, for the sake of argument, you would all now know that the main focal point of the government is this area up here, the Black Keep, a large dwarven fortress made out of solid obsidian. The walls around you, by the way, the large city walls are also pure obsidian, due to the volcanic nature of some of the materials in the region. Obsidian is very common in these parts. The streets themselves, the cobbles, are fairly dark stone in colour. The buildings, the general style is a mix of dwarven, human, a little bit of dwarven Tudor, if that makes sense. The rain is ever present. It's a little bit damp. It's a little bit cold. And again, on occasion, you just out of the corner of your eye, you do see a ghost. Out, not down the main street or anything, but this does seem to be a city with a certain flavour.
You don't say!
You chose a Paladin of Sepsis, my
I
friend,
did,
and I am
did.
so happy.
You're welcome.
Anyway,
Here,
eventually.
I'll ask the obvious question.
Yes, sir.
Sir Ang, should I be concerned about the presence of ghosts at all, or is this what passes for normal round these parts?
I don't see how this could pass for normal.
Nice to know someone sees sense.
Chemise is hugging herself, looking around. My friend, what have you gotten me into?
I would say this. You don't hear words, but you do feel a slight chuckle at the back of your mind.
Well, she was talking to Icarus, of course.
Of course she was, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I would say the one other little bit of information that Ang would share is the warden system, where there are city guards and there are official members of basically a police force that works underneath, the city council. and mines the walls and everything. But Ang and a few of the other members of the group are classed as wardens, a militia group.
Well, I know I feel a lot safer with all of you around. I can't imagine being here alone. Thank you all for accompanying me. And just to be clear, this is the city that underneath here is where we're supposed to find our stuff, right? Or where,
Yes.
Okay, I want to make sure we are actually arrived. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. And this is the place.
And we're going under this place? I know, I need a good night's sleep. Maybe something hot to drink.
Okay. So eventually, you find yourselves outside to some of you, a familiar setting. This is the Tardy Cairo Tavern. A place that I would say, Ang, when you and Skullface have visited it on, the weeks previous, a fairly busy, bustling place. Right now, there does seem to be a little bit of a more somber atmosphere. You did. I said somber. There we go.
That's just someone at the tavern trying to lighten the mood.
Yeah, funnily enough, there is this halfling bard.
He got reincarnated here.
Yep. Well, that would be a spoiler as to how life and undeath works, but we'll see. But there is a halfling, and it's like every now and then you see him like try and go for an instrument, and someone just sort of like shoots him down. Outside, there are two city guard in the black armor, the purple livery of the city. The woman on the left puts her hands up and says, "Are you tenants here? You've got a room?"
I'm getting one. I'm Chemise Mill, archaeologist. I'm just looking to have a rest for the evening.
Right, there's been a little bit of an incident. You've probably seen all the stuff that's been going on around here. Have you got nowhere else to go?
She says, I'm traveling to the city and my friends here are helping me. This is my personal guard.
Right. She looks over as she notices the warden symbol on Ang's lapel. Are they with you?
Yes. I hired them.
She said that to Ang.
Sorry.
Sorry, say that again.
The guard asked Ang if what Chemise basically said was true, if she is with you, because she's deferring to Ang because of the purple badge.
Yep.
Right.
Yes. These two are with me.
Right, okay, well, head on in, just, it's... We're trying to keep an eye on, everyone who's coming and going at the moment. It's, as you can understand, everyone's a bit on edge. Still trying to figure out what the fuck happened today. So, just eyes and ears open, alright?
Question: do we know what happened, or? Because I can't remember.
Yeah. From your perspective, you guys literally just came off the boat, and the city was on fire. And as you were coming through the city, because I would say this, you made a beeline straight from the Grey Quarter, basically because you were chasing after. I almost called her Anarchy, Miss Courtesy, because Miss Courtesy had a vested interest in making sure Christina was safe, and she was in the Grey Quarter. As you guys were making your way through the city, you saw that the guard were pretty much clearing up the remains of all these different groups. There were riders, there were other factions that you don't know the name of, but you kind of recognize some of the flags and everything that they were wearing. So you do know there has been some kind of concentrated effort from multiple different groups. One of which were apparently a sepsis, who you dealt with.
So, Aang's gonna look over at the one guard and ask, we've been away from the city. We saw the fire and the smoke when we came back in, but what happened?
Right, well, I myself was on guard near the Memorial Gardens. It's the 400th anniversary of, what happened, the sinkhole, Grimskull, all that. And, we're halfway through the service. She bites her lip for a moment. Somebody set off a device. There was a lot of people killed. She looks over to the other guard who kind of like, and she saw she looks like she was going to share some information, but she's like, look, all we really know for sure is a lot of people have died, and we don't know what caused all this. A bunch of different people, different groups, all just sort of rose up together out of nowhere and then it stopped. We don't know what is going on right now, so if you hear anything in there, if you hear anything on the streets, you let us know.
Of course I will.
But be careful, we don't know if that was just the first of a series of these things. We don't know if this was just a distraction. We just... a friend starts having a very serious coughing fit. She's like, you better go in, but eyes, ears open, alright?
I will do. Thank you.
Not a problem. Gives you a salute. I would say...
Gives her a half salute back.
She nods. I would say, given the amount of time that you have been doing this, I would say at this point, let's just select you. Why are you not? There we go. I would say at this point, Graz, Tahu, and Jurnis, you would have just made your way into the area. And you basically just catch up with your friends as they are standing outside a much more subdued than normal tavern. And let's just put Skullface back there because Skullface is not here.
First things first. I would like to do an insight on Graz to see if she's still acting weird.
Weird?
Because you mentioned...
Graz acting weird?
Yeah, because you mentioned she was acting shifty. I want to see if Jurnis is smart enough to realise if it's just because we were around the undead, or if... something else. Jurnis knows fuck all. Never mind.
I was going to say, that's a 19 you rolled. Oh, no, it was a 6. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very damp. And the words of the undead gnome cleric have been weighing on your mind.
Also true.
All about choice. Doing the same thing over and over again. You can't get that out of your head. Eventually you look up and, oh, you're here. Time flies when you're having fun, I suppose.
Sure, we'll go with fun.
I'd say, Aang, just as you're about to head in, you turn around, you hear Jurnis, Graz, and Tahu.
Good. You all are here. Let's head inside and get something to drink.
I would very much like that.
Drinks on me.
Very dangerous
You heard?
statement.
No backsays. No backsays. Graz instantly.
Domestic only,
starts-
nothing imported.
It's too late. Graz instantly heads inside.
And Chemise goes in, staying close to. Actually, she's staying close to Icarus, but I can't find Icarus on here.
I'm right here.
Icarus
Oh,
is...
there's Icarus. Okay,
Yeah.
she's sticking by Icarus. Looks like she seems to at least on the surface. It's she seems maybe like she's just suddenly the events of the day are catching up with her. She's not leaning against him, but she's being very, very, very close.
Yes.
Jurnis is just holding the door, waiting for Dog, who I assume is being ridden by the blueberry, to come in.
Yes, that's a good question. Dog,
Yes.
are you okay with having a blue-skinned gnome ride you?
Yeah, it's like a dog, one of those dog costumes, they put the cowboy on it.
Yeah.
It's literally that. I love it. I love it.
And I can't get in.
Oh, okay. It's because the door is a little bit misshapen. Let me just grab the thing. I apologize.
Typical.
There we go.
Tavern.
There you go.
I'm in.
Yay.
I had to do it with the mouse.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because of the way I connected this map to a grid and everything, some of the doors might be a little awkward, so you'll have to use mouse.
I'm sorry, Icarus.
so-
I just feel like everything in the day is catching up with me.
Not a problem.
Jurnis
No,
is gonna
that
have
was to Icarus.
Oh,
Jurnis is going to have a little look around, see if there's anyone she recognizes in here.
give me a perception check.
Why did you keep double rolling?
Yeah, it's like my mouse is double clicking a lot. A 22, yeah. Okay. You look around. You do recognize a couple of people. Over here is a dwarven girl, round about late teens, early 20s, working on sweeping the floor. We're having a conversation with Keith, the barman, who you have spoken to on several occasions. Looking around, there are quite a few people in here. Some people, most people who are either staff members, you recognise with a little pink symbol there. These are basically other students of the Bard's College who double as employees to keep it nice and clean. You do notice over here in the corner a couple of individuals you've not seen before. A large orc woman with a lute over one shoulder, having an animated conversation with an elven woman. Both very unusual looking hairstyles and everything. But other than that, you look around, you see one or two elves. A pair of goblins, actually. I misspoke. A pair of hobgoblins in this corner, a man and a woman having a muted conversation. Let's see. And other than that, it seems to just be the usual mix of staff and residents of the rooms upstairs. However, at 22. Yeah, there is something not good in this place. Everyone is very muted. This is not the same tavern that you are used to. I would say you even notice over here as she's serving drinks, this tabaxi woman does seem to be very red rims around the eyes. There is a certain air of melancholy and sadness.
That can't be good.
Let's
Get your paw
Fine.
away from my pizza.
Hey,
down, dog,
he's home.
down.
There. Have a wee bit of pepper on it.
Let's find somewhere out of the way.
There does seem to be a open table over here.
Aang makes his way over there. Jump out the window.
I mean, you're a monk, so why not?
I think I did jump through the window once before.
Yeah. I think it was during the attack on Wex's mother's house. You basically let through the window when you were fighting those goblins.
Yep. So, and Aang's, as soon as Jurnis and Grass get over there, he's not waiting for the others because they wouldn't know about it. So apparently, fuck it, overall stealth. Why not? There you go. Okay. Because he's kind of talking under his breath, to where only they can hear. So apparently, the smoke and fires we saw came from the ceremony where a device was used to kill a large portion of the crowd.
Do you mean a bomb?
Did Chemise come over, or is she still hanging out in the doorway?
Oh, I thought. Sorry, she's with Icarus. I thought he came back and told us. I can't really see the black and white tokens.
It makes it hard to tell.
I apologize.
But yeah, the guys are over here.
Oh, never mind then. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're Yeah, like I said, Aang didn't wait for the others to join him. As soon as Jurnis and Graz got over there, he just started telling them this.
Okay,
Aang
I
is
misunderstood and thought you
deliberately
said you
being a
came back.
bitch.
No.
Okay. Does that help?
Am I standing close enough?
I'm red as
always
fuck.
standing close enough.
Tahu, that's a very good question.
I'm
would
the
you
sneaky
give
little
me...
Kenku that's always
You
stalking Jurnis
are.
around at the moment.
Yes, you are. Would you please give me a perception check?
Remember how to open up the character sheet. I'll be up right there.
Stealthy Kenku. Quest sneak.
Yes.
Okay.
Big sneak.
Well, that's... You said a perception check, right?
I apologize. Yeah, I did say perception.
Oh, right. Oops. Wrong button.
That's
Yeah,
all good.
because you gotta beat my stealth.
Yeah. You know,
I rolled
here's
a
the
nat
thing.
1 on that, it looks
You
like.
did. You did.
saw his tiny.
The wall has definitely got my interest.
Yeah. You know, hey,
tried to
here's the
be-
thing. That's the I don't know where if because you mentioned a thing about, you know, your cigarette and your cigars and everything. I don't know if these are like domestic cigars or specialist cigars, but whatever it is, yeah, this is a good cigar.
I'm having
Very
a good
distracting.
smoke.
You're having a very good smoke, son. But yeah, Icarus. I'm so sorry, Aang.
It seems that we might not have stopped everything with the bomb.
Are you sure? We definitely disarmed the one that was found down in the Grimscar.
Yes, but was that the only one? Or was this supposed to be something bigger?
Well, we did use a similar one to blow up the, rather, the dreadful accident.
Yes, the dreadful accident that befell.
Yes. Perhaps they had made more and shipped them out first.
It's very possible.
I don't like this.
I mean, the Watcher the Watcher knows what we know, so there's no point in telling them this. But I feel maybe we should look into it ourselves more.
Perhaps. I had thought it would have been the riders, but I'm pretty sure we hamstrung them.
Did we though? I mean, sure, we caused disarray among the group, but
Took out the
who's
leadership.
to? Yes, but who's to say there wasn't a splinter cell?
Ang, I would actually say, give me a, I would say either just a flat intelligence check or a history check, whichever's going to be the largest modifier for you, since you've been living in the city for at least a little while.
I mean,
13, okay. With that, you think back to what little you know of the different groups. The Riders were one of the older gangs, but they weren't as numerous as some of the other ones. There weren't that many people in it. It's only in the past month or so that all the stuff going on that you discovered with Victor Grey and him fueling the fires and everything, literally. It's only recently that they really grew in number, and considering the sheer number of bodies that you guys have left in your wake over the past week or so, and it literally has just been 7 days, you think that for the most part, the Riders are pretty much done, at least in terms of sheer number. Whether or not there are a couple of them left out there, you do know that there's at least 3 members of the old leadership, the one-eyed gentleman and his 2 friends, the grandfather of that pickpocket. You know that they are around somewhere, but they are no longer actively working, shall we say.
Yeah, they had to get out of Dodge because they practically betrayed the place.
Exactly. They pretty much dropped their flags and they left town. So, given what you have seen of like I say, the amount of carnage that you've done in regards to this organization, for them to have any more members, at least in sizable numbers, they would almost rival the city guard. So.
So it potentially still could be the Riders. Some of the more... Fuck, is Zealot the word I'm looking for here?
Zealot is a word.
No, some of the more fanatical ones, at least.
Yeah, the die-hard bunch.
Yes. There's some in every group.
Yeah.
Just like you have your cowards who run away at the first sign of danger and abandon the cause.
Now, come... Oh, right, sorry. Bit of projection there, Kitty. Sorry, mate.
You have those who...
We knew you weren't run unless at least 2 of us are dead.
Yes, and if you do, please come back afterwards and try and bury our bodies once it's safe. Anyhow.
Mate, considering how much money you've been paid recently, rest assured I'm coming back. And she gives you what you think is supposed to be a friendly, joking grin. Never quite tell with goblins.
Jurnis is just gonna give her like a little look. Like, Alright then. Glad we're high in your priorities.
Now, seriousness, though, don't die. I mean, I really don't have much else around here, and look, Red, I'm only here because of you and your personal matter. So I was trying to get away from. She looks over to Ang. Long and the short of it is, I was actually a former member of, shall we say, a group that we recently stumbled into. Matthias and his lot. I was actually a member of a different branch. I honestly thought that, I could get away from them, and we kind of end up going to their head office. So, yeah, I kind of need you guys around.
Well, no witnesses and all that.
Exactly.
Oh God, I sound like the shifties. You know what? Where's that drink?
Right here, Ed. At this point, Graz, she's passing the drinks out. She looks over at Tahu, who's admiring the really ornate wallpaper. And she said, "Another
While having a good smoke at the same time.
Oh gosh, yeah.
The wallpaper and the smoke just must be something in the smoke.
It has a certain aroma that's very calming and relaxing. Graz leans forward a little bit to Jurnis and in a low voice. So, the Kenku, Jasper sent him, right? The dude from that August Sanctum. The stabby bunch.
A totally legitimate enterprise, yes.
Yeah, the totally legitimate enterprise.
Apparently,
For wealthy
yes.
people.
He's a Kenku, and he did mimic Jasper's voice. So unless he's a very gifted Kenku, or he spoke to him directly.
Yeah. That's the thing. I've worked with him before. Not him, obviously, but I mean, I'm just like, you probably want to be careful what we're saying around him. Because they got a memory.
Why do you think
Saying about him?
Did you just Tahu?
Yes.
Did you? Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Would you like a drink, mate? Graz passes forward a glass of brandy. To Tahu.
I'm completely still out of it.
I am so sorry. Say again. You broke up.
I'm totally still out of it.
Ah. Okay. But you basically.
But I was
did...
basically proving his point.
Ah. Okay.
Without realizing it.
Gotcha. Okay, lovely. Graz just gives you both a look.
Whatever's in that might make up for losing your snacks. She says to Graz. Anyway. So the question is, are we going to put up our... She glances over towards Chemise. Employers here for tonight and then go back to Scully's, or shall we stay here as well?
Well, I mean, it's up to you, but I think he's going to be prepping for the family. I mean, it's a pretty big place, and he's got we met him. I don't know if most of them are going to be staying or going or whatever, but I think he'd allow us there, but I don't want to put him out, you know what I mean?
I think perhaps we should stay here for the night. I mean, after all, our two new companions over there need a place to stay.
Yeah, and again, not to be that kind of person, but I don't really like the idea of us leading them to his personal abode, because again, he's got the whole double life thing, you know.
I wasn't going to take them there. I was going to dump them here and run out the door. But yeah, come back in the morning. Well, not literally, but you get the idea. But yes, I suppose that makes sense. We may as well stay here if we're going to be setting out in the morning. Also, we should probably be keeping an eye on him. Jurnis is just gonna gently rock her head towards Icarus.
While this conversation's going on, what is him up to?
He's trying to get a damn room.
Right.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Chemise is sticking to him like glue because she looks very uneasy. She's like wringing her hands.
I would
Squeezing
actually
her hands
say
together.
Oh, okay. So you guys head over to the barkeep over here. You see this dwarven gentleman. I will actually be able to show you him because I said I will be able to show you. There we go. Boop. Does that come up on everyone's screen?
Not on mine.
Not on mine.
Oh gosh darn, roll 20. Okay.
Yeah, I
You
don't
and
have
your
anything.
D&D layer.
Yeah.
Or your DM
So-
layer, I mean, or whatever.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Basically, there's supposed to be a hotkey that you push, and images are supposed, like certain scenes and certain
Yeah.
backdrop images are supposed to pop up, but for whatever reason, Roll20 has been a git. But basically, is a dwarven gentleman in his not like late 40s, early 50s. Slightly balding, having a chat with this barmaid over here. And he looks up. Hi there, how can I help? Question just before we begin as well. Icarus,
Yes.
what are you wearing?
Well, gee, I haven't had a chance to change, have I?
I mean, no, the question... Now, here's the thing. You did say that you were thinking of putting the shield away.
Yes, and I
Yeah,
need a
you did
room
say
to do
that.
that first.
I see.
What, you
As
think
it
I'm
is-
just gonna, like, hide it in the snow or something?
Put a cloth over it.
Stay safe,
What?
little shield.
Yeah. I mean, you have a cloak, do you not?
I just picture Icarus bearing the shield and saying, "Stay safe, little shield. We will be judgmental once again soon."
But let's just say that he's, like, just kind of, like, tucking the shield, like, towards himself, so the symbol that he often showed proudly is not being shown off right now because he knows it's a problem.
Okay.
So he's
okay,
trying to
fair enough.
hide it.
Fair enough. Yeah, so this, again, this dwarven gentleman, he seems a bit distracted, but he looks up. Hi, yeah, how can I be of assistance, sir?
Yes, I'd like a room for me and this fine lady here.
Your finest, largest room.
Right, okay, are you going to be staying long?
Good question. How long do you reckon we will be staying here, Miss Chemise?
She lowers her head, thinks for a moment, and says, how long? How long?
Well,
And she's-
that's the question,
Sorry, go
isn't it? Again, you feel the presence at the back of your mind murmur to you. That's a good question. I don't believe we will be able to solve everything overnight. Perhaps a week.
A week. She looks up and says, a week. Perhaps
A
more.
week. All right. Let's see. You're talking 5 silver a night. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I literally just blanked it there for a second. I'm so sorry. So yeah, that's 5 times 7 times 2.
35. So,
Okay. So that's going to be
35 times
35.
2 is 70.
Okay. So that will be 70 silver for both of you.
And how much is that in gold?
I believe
14
that is...
gold pieces.
At that, Chemise hands over 4 platinum pieces. That would cover that plus a bunch, right?
Okay, yeah.
Would that cover a bunch? That would cover a bunch more. Am I good with my math?
I believe so, yes. Again,
I wanted to be significantly overpaying. Overpaying.
That's 40 gold!
Yep.
Huh.
So she hands over the 4 platinum and says, "See that we're not disturbed. See that we're not looked after. Or see that we're not no one's. See that we have privacy."
Right. He kind of like looks a little suspiciously at the money and then at you, slowly picks it up. What was it you were doing here again? When did you come into the city?
Just today, archaeological expedition.
Archaeological. Give me a persuasion check.
Mm-hmm. She's telling the truth.
I would say this, considering the fact that you've come into this city on this day.
Yeah, disadvantage.
Yeah, disadvantage. And not just that, because you use the word archaeology with this particular city and its history of that.
Yeah, that's on purpose.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. He takes the money and he nods over to the dwarven girl here. Gale, would you show them to their rooms? Oh, it was 2 rooms, is that correct, Mom?
1.
1 room, okay. Not a problem. Gale? And this dwarven girl, she basically looks to be very late teens, early 20s, dirty blonde hair, has a broom in her hand, takes one of the room keys from the side and nods to you all politely. Oh, hello, my name's Gale. If you would follow me, please, I'll get you situated. Now, fun fact, I did not prepare any room maps, so...
That's fine.
You 3 can go in the dark black void up here.
Ooh!
Yeah.
I love the use of space.
Yes.
I love how Dog is just over here, and now I just have a mental image that they're just sitting there doing little puppy eyes and begging scraps of food from this group here.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say, Dog, give me... Mm-hmm. Yes?
It's not a blank space, it's just called open concept.
There we go. Dog, give me a persuasion check, please.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably just going around begging for food.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Persuasion.
A 6.
I have -2 charisma. I'm cute.
You know what? I would say yes, you are a dog, so you're automatically cute. So I would call that an 8. Unfortunately, even with an 8, that is not enough.
That's fine.
You're not too sure whether it's the fact that these people just don't seem to be in the mood. For whatever reason, everyone seems a little bit down, a bit gloomy. Or it might be because you have this gnome on your back saying, "We are the king! All hail my mount!" You're not too sure if that's got something to do with it or not, but, no real scraps. Do you head back over to the rest of your group? Or do you just, wander around near the fire?
I want to bet one more table.
Okay, yeah, sure. Just give me one more persuasion. Persuasion. 14, yeah. I would say this gentleman over here gives you a couple of scraps, and then this hobgoblin couple over here, they were in a bit of a conversation with each other. Their eyes sort of light up, and like, "Oh my god, look, it's a dog. Oh my god, it's so cute. Yes, you are." And this woman literally just gets up, leaves her partner, and she's just petting you. She's just like, "Oh," and she's chatting to the gnome on your back. "Oh, is she yours, or is he yours, or what's her name?" And there's just this whole back and forth with them for a little bit. Apparently now, according to Groth, your name is Tiberius Fastpaw.
What?
It's your name.
It's Tiberius, yes. He's awesome. How do you feel? Do you wish to protest at this? Or are you just focusing on the food?
I'm a dog. I care about the food. I don't give a shit about anything else.
There we go.
Speaking of dog, my dog got crushed somehow. Are you okay? What happened?
Oh no!
I heard a yelp. What happened? Okay, but no, anyway, food. I just care about the food. Yum, yum, yum.
Fair enough. Yeah, food and pets.
Yes.
Anyway, while that's going on, was there anything... Oh yeah, so Gale leads you to your room. It's a fairly... I would say it's a rather nice room, considering the amount of gold that you threw down at them. This is one of the few remaining nice rooms in the establishment. It has a double bed.
Of course it does.
She gives. I would say she gives Sir Icarus a little bit of a sly wink. So I was just wondering if you wanted us to keep the double bed, or if you wanted us to split it. It's actually 2 singles. And we just mix and match the mattresses and everything. For your employer, she gives you a very... Again, this is...
Oh, boy!
She's...
Yeah.
This girl has an opinion on what this relationship is.
Yeah, of course she does. Well, it would be preferable if they were split.
Oh, okay, that's not a problem. Your preference, of course. And she actually does make herself busy moving the 2 beds apart a little bit. You notice there's a small section where some of the bedding is kept, and she moves the larger mattress out, swaps it out for 2 smaller ones, and so on. Would there be anything else, Mom?
That'll be all, thank you.
Not a problem.
As I told the gentleman, please see that we're not disturbed. Please ensure our privacy. And she hands 1 platinum to her. A whole platinum, I should say.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. She's doing it for a reason.
Yeah, the girl gives you a very wide smile. Give me a quick insight check.
Yeah.
Because she's not hiding it very well. She's hiding it enough. She seems very grateful. She will pocket the platinum, give you a very polite curtsy.
Icky's there,
and
can he take a crack?
Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah.
That's better.
This kid, this brat. You know how sometimes you go to like a hotel or something, and you've got that one staff member who is just not very professional.
Yeah.
They're kind of like just enjoying the little bits of power that they have about the job. She's loving this. She's got her idea about what's going on, and she loves the fact that she's just got extra money out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of a git.
Yeah.
So she just.
Ball.
Yep.
She's not making any secret of the fact. So she gives you another rather lascivious wink, Icarus, as she closes the door.
Yeah, Chemise is just like looking around the room. Nothing. Yes, thank you.
So, she is going to leave you. While you guys are in there, is there anything that Icarus and Chemise wish to discuss?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Chemise sits on the side of the bed and says, I was really disturbed by what we saw.
What in particular, if you don't mind my asking?
Just, I wasn't expecting to have to defend myself here like we did on the way. Wasn't expecting a war, setting fire to things, and I've seen a lot since leaving my village.
Yes. I rather didn't expect to have to fight some of my own brothers, rather misguided as they are.
I thought you said they weren't really.
No, not really. Making claim to a purification is not something within their right. They were just boys playing pretend in their bed sheets. But I'd like to think their hearts were at least in the right place. It's a damn shame, really.
Chemise nods and says, so pointless. Such a pointless struggle.
I would have given them their last rites, but I felt that considering the frosty attitude of the tiefling and the officials that came to meet us, that it wouldn't have gone down well.
Chemise moves to lie back on her bed and puts her hands behind her head, and she just breathes in and out. Just one big sighs, just inhale, exhale, and she says, to be honest, I'm just relieved to have 4 walls around me right now. And I feel safe with you here. She closes her eyes.
You would be the only one in Cosmo Grim who feels that way, it seems.
I sensed your sincerity when you spoke to them. That told me that what they were doing wasn't your way.
Well, it's not my way. For a lot of people in my faith it is. But I feel that fire, the ultimate disinfectant and purifier, should be our last resort. It does the job, but it is indiscriminate, and a lot of people disagree with it, as you can see from the attitudes of the people around us.
Fire is a tool, it depends on who's using it.
True. But if we don't find a solution to the undead epidemic, then it's only just going to spiral out of control, and there's a bit of an inevitable end if nothing is done.
I mostly use fires for cooking.
Aye, and it purifies any pestilence in the meats. So there you go.
When it's used properly and in the right quantity, yes. Although sometimes there's some meals that are best raw.
So, Miss Chemise, if you pardon my saying so, you throw around a lot of money willy-nilly, and a lot of people are suspicious of such grand displays of charity.
Yes. You have a question?
What are you trying to hide?
No, not so much trying to hide anything as feeling bad for people in a place that's just been set on fire. And I'm going to roll a deception.
Icarus, would you like to give us... Yeah, already with its roof. She is being less than truthful.
Yeah, that's not a lie, but it's not the only reason by far.
That's evidently not the whole truth, Miss Chemise.
She looks back and says, I came from humble beginnings and then came into money. I have to admit there's a part of me that enjoys showing off. And that is the truth. Although the came into money part isn't exactly accurate, so should I roll another deception?
One more insight, if you could, Icarus.
I already rolled it, it was a 15.
Yeah, 15. Yeah. Seems legit. You know plenty of people who have started with very little, they get a bit of a windfall, and then they're like, spend.
Very well, Miss Chemise, but you should be careful throwing your money around in future. You asked for privacy, but I doubt that's what you're going to get.
Well, then they won't get any more, will they?
For we know they're spying on us right now, listening in, or peeking through some peephole.
Oh, I do hope so.
Especially
Hello.
that wench.
She says, oh, I do hope so. Hello, and she waves to no one in particular.
In fact, I would like to check for such things.
Okay.
While you're checking, I'm going to be right back. I have to take care of something.
Would that be
No
a perception or an investigation, Dennis?
If you're actively looking around, if you're poking around investigation, if you're just standing there and listening, I would say perception.
He's gonna look around.
Okay. With a 16, you poke around the various windows and the doors. The 16. Okay. You could have sworn there was a slight creak of one of the floorboards somewhere outside in the corridor.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that...
All seems on the up and up.
Seems to be.
I mean, as far as it goes for Cosmo.
There's no... You don't find any, secret listening tubes or, murder traps. It's like the bed isn't set to fall into a pit of acid or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This isn't that kind of module.
Not yet. Alright. So while Icky Boy is going around, poking and looking.
Aren't you tired, Icarus? Honestly, I want to rest, and I want you to rest here too with me. I want us both refreshed for the next day.
Yes,
Oh,
go to
believe
sleep
me.
next to the stranger.
Yes.
Always ends well.
Oh, believe me, Miss Chemise, it's been a rather trying and tiring day. But I'm not sure if I could, bed just yet.
What do paladins dream about?
He basically turned and went, I'm not a stranger.
Icarus just turns there, it's like, what a bizarre question.
I always ask people what they dream about. It's interesting.
He's thoughtful for a moment. A long moment. Well, amongst many other things, I dream of a world without the undead, where you don't have to fear about our world being covered in pestilence.
Chemise playfully bends down around to look under the bed, and then comes back up and says, "Well, nothing under there."
Don't be coy, Miss Chemise. You know it's all around us. It's in this very city. There's a whole, what was it called? The Grey Quarter? A whole district dedicated to the undead. Which is fine for now, it's a containment. But eventually it would overflow into the city, and the Grey Quarter would just get bigger and bigger, and it would eventually encompass the entirety of Cosrock Rim. Then it will spill out of Cosrock Rim, into the greater lands. Then it will cover continents, and then the entire world. And then Obsessus himself will have to take the most direct measure possible, and purify the entire world. And nothing will survive that.
You really do just think about saving people all the time, don't you?
That's how I was raised up, Miss Chemise. It's all I've ever known.
Chemise leans back and closes her eyes again and puts her hands back behind her head and says, "But what do you want?"
What do I want? Well,
I mean, suppose the undead were contained. Suppose that quest was no longer important. What would you do then?
Honestly, I'd be rather content spending the rest of my days serving my queen Tugas in the lovely land of Yabohari. Maybe, I don't know, open a farm, run a farm or some such, you know? Just a humble trade to while away the rest of my days.
You'd stop focusing on death and start focusing on life?
I've never been focused on death. On death, perhaps.
That's
But only
good to
because it's a
hear.
cruel facsimile of life. And I
Yes,
can
of
see
course.
why people are attached to it. But it's not living. Clinging to a decayed form is a miserable affair.
Chemise nods her head and says, I'm tired now, though. I'm gonna sleep. And she closes her eyes and slows her breathing.
Okay.
Is she goddamn asleep?
Okay. With a 22 insight check, if she's sleeping, it's a light sleep.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Dennis, you probably know what's coming.
Do I?
Oh, you might. I've done it a lot, and I'm doing it again. Where is that goddamn feat? Gimme that divine sense. About to piss off
Okay.
the friend.
Okay. You reach within yourself. You call on your divine power. You expand your senses around you. I'm assuming you're focusing on undead.
Yes. You know it.
Okay. There is a lingering trace of coldness for a second, and then there's nothing. You detect nothing.
God damn it! I know something's up, man!
Must be a drafty room for being so expensive.
It's wet outside. It's very wet. The wind is actually starting to pick up a little bit.
Out of character. Come cuddle me, Icarus. No.
Forever.
To say the least, improper conduct!
No. But yeah, no, it's just a little chilly, right, GM?
I'm so sorry. Say that one more time.
It's just a little bit chilly, right, GM?
It's just a little windy. That's all. Just a little cold breeze. That's all.
I wish 5e tools wouldn't run at a snail's pace now, because I'm trying to check my spells. God damn it! Because this character sheet doesn't let you read up what your spells do easily, so I have to use another source because I want to make sure I know what I'm doing. Or potentially able to do.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I had to answer a question there. What were you doing again? What was Icarus doing?
Oh, well, he just did his divine sense, didn't he?
What? That was a mistake. Disregard.
Crikey! Saving throw attack! 32? What the fuck?
Whoops!
It's good. I'm
Got
sure
a
it's
hell
going
of
to be
a roll on
fine.
that.
That
But
is
yeah.
a heck of a roll.
That was an accident. Sorry.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
Chemise
no, I
is just like
guess...
tossing and turning in her quote-unquote sleep, and she backhands you.
But yeah, no, there's nothing Icarus can do for now, so he's going to pull out his prayer book and in Celestial just basically go over some last rites and prayers for those poor, misguided boys.
Okay.
You know, it's not a proper thing, but it's something.
Okay. I would actually say give me roll me a religion
Hell
check.
yeah.
And, yeah, okay. Complete the last rites. Again, you don't have the bodies or anything, but
Nope.
you say the words, the intent is there.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like you have done everything you can for them.
Yep.
Your conscience and your soul is clear, and any black marks that may have been there are removed. Meanwhile, back down here in the main area, Tahu, you're getting towards the end of the cigar. I apologize, very different thing indeed. Enjoying the smoke, the atmosphere of the tavern and everything. When in the back of your mind, you hear a very clear and firm voice. Mr. Tahu, I believe. I would like to speak with you in the private dining area to the left of where you are. You do not need to respond to this message. Give me a history check real fast, and I'd say with advantage. Thankfully with a 19. That is a voice you have heard before. You forget with a 19 you'd remember the name. That is the name of one of the head teachers at the August Sanctum, the not Assassin's Guild that you work for. And they have requested your presence in one of the side rooms of this building. Do you respond to the message?
Do I know this is like a magical message in my head or whatnot? Am I familiar with this type of thing?
You know that there are certain members of the upper circle, the upper management of the organization, that there are rumors that some people use spells. Basically, magic is a very heavily restricted thing. But,
have I encountered this before?
I would say you've not personally encountered, but you have heard of people sending messages magically. You know it's a fairly common thing that some mages can do.
I'll walk in circles a few times. Then what? It was over here or somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't know
the
where it
voice.
was.
Not a problem. The voice itself was in your head, but they basically said that in the a room to the left, which let me just. Please don't do that. Sorry, Roll20 is being Roll20. I would say through this door here and through here.
After walking around in circles a few times, I guess I'll just wander that way. Of course. However, I can't see
I would say all of this is going on roughly the same time that the conversation with Icarus and Chemise and also with Jurnis, Ang, and Grad. So we come to the... Oh, it's because there's no torch. There's only one torch over here.
Oh.
Yeah. Lighting effects. So anyway, you get to around here. Did I delete the door? Yes, I did delete the door. So yeah, you're able to just come through there. As you come up to the...
Through this door?
To this door here.
Okay.
As you poke your head in, you see a woman you have noticed before, but you have no direct interaction. A halfling woman in very elegant black and purple formal dress, a large, wide-rimmed black hat with a basically like a funeral shroud lifted up to see you. A veil, I apologize. And she briefly glances up as she's looking at notes in front of her. You may enter. Oh yeah, it's the key. It's the keyboard, isn't it? Bear with me. There you go.
I'm on one side of the door and I'm like peek my head in. I'm gonna walk to the other side of the door and I'm gonna peek my head in. I'm gonna walk to the other side of the door and I'm gonna peek my head in again and then I'll walk in. I'm doing the bird thing. I'm like, I'm checking my angles. I'm checking my angles.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. As you finally make your way in, she sort of like, she doesn't look up with a slightly irritated snap of her fingers. All the doors and everything around you slam shut. Please sit down there. She gestures to a seat in front of you. She's not looked up, by the way. She's focused on her notes. Boom. The windows.
And then I'll slide it back in.
She slowly looks up. Did you sit in the chair?
No.
Okay, she slowly looks up at you, like one eyebrow starts to raise a little. Very well. Do you know who I am?
Who?
I am Professor Lady Cara Gosling. I am the second in command, directly under Sir Endledge, in the August Sanctum, our organization. And I am the direct superior of a Mr. Jasper Wilberforce Dismythe, an individual who, I have learned, has tasked you with a, shall we say, unorthodox assignment. I would like you to explain, in his own words, what it is that you are doing here now.
I'll take a step back and get my hands out, rub them together, and then start with the speech that he had originally given me to relay.
Okay. It was this speech that he wanted you to tell Jurnis. This wasn't him giving you your instructions. This was him giving a recorded message for Jurnis saying, this is the book, this is the orb and everything, yeah?
Yeah, but it should explain what I was doing.
Okay, so you do... Alright, so you want... Mm-hmm.
The message is like my explanation.
Got you. Okay. I see. So he did not give you any further instructions other than to be a delivery boy. Is that correct?
Quay.
Would this be a positive quay or a negative quay?
Is there a check that I can do it without, like, in a way that I'm not, like, trying to say yes or no?
I would say deception. A 9. You notice her eyes narrow further. I find it rather hard to believe that you were sent all the way out for something so simple. Jasper is many things, but wasteful of resources is not one of them. I would politely request you share any further information that could elucidate your current position. What are you doing with these individuals?
I'm sure she knows me as a character, right?
Yeah, the basic power
So
dynamic
I'm
here.
sure she would know that I'm one of the silent ones.
Yes. Yeah. No. So the basic power dynamic here is that this is someone who is like almost like this is the head of HR. You know, or rather, it's like this is the vice president of the company, and Jasper is HR, and you are basically one of the people who actually get shit done. And this is her basically interviewing you, asking you what is the head of HR doing. She knows that you are a Kenku. She knows you can't speak in the traditional sense. But she wants to know, basically she wants you to give her the words that Jasper gave for your ears only, is the impression that you're getting.
Just trying to figure out how to say it, like keep an eye on her, or like how to say it in just such a weird way.
Yeah, Kenku, they're a bit tricky.
Or do it in an action necessarily.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you tell me if you give me the general information you're trying to put out there, we can do just like a performance roll, and we'll see whether or not she picks up on it or not. If that's something you want to try.
Yeah, I guess that would be the best. I would try to mimic some of what I've heard of Jurnis's voice and say "I" a few times, like watch and.
Okay.
I guess, yeah.
So you do flat out. You basically lay out that Jasper has told you to keep an eye on Jurnis specifically. Okay. Interesting. Why exactly are you spying on this young woman? What is Jasper's interest? Do you know if it has anything to do with the other new arrival in the college? Another tiefling. Now, here to clarify, Tahu, I don't believe you know anything about this.
They don't.
Yeah, that's a genuine. Very well. Sit down, and I shall explain the situation you find yourself in.
Pull the chair out. Push back in again.
Fair enough. Over the next few minutes, she explains that over the past week or so, a new student has come to the college, a first-generation tiefling by the name of Kay, blue skin, who has made quite an impact on the headmaster, Sir Enledge, the head of the college. there are certain members in the group who seem to be upset at Sir Enlidge showing such an interest in this newcomer, this tiefling. And certain members of the college, such as Jasper, think that there's something untoward going on. However, I have it from Sir Enlidge himself that this individual is a welcome guest, someone who was actually invited into the college. I believe he is in correspondence with the individual's mother. You know that we do various scholarships from wealthy and individual members of society from all over the world. Apparently, Sir Enlidge is looking to branch out and believes that this individual is a useful asset for future relations. I admit, I do not know the exact details. That is not my concern. What is my concern is the fact that Jasper and others like him do not listen, and they are looking to find a reason or a conspiracy where there is none. I am concerned that they are going to risk alienating a potential client. And I would like very much to know that you are not aiding Jasper in such a foolish and potentially damaging action. Do you understand?
Sure.
I will take that as a yes. To that end, I would like to give you a counter offer. Well, I don't believe offer is the exact term. A counter suggestion. I would like you to continue this assignment that Wilberforce de Smythe has you under. Keep an eye on this Jurnis individual. But whenever you have any kind of information that you think would be relevant to the college, I would prefer you to give it to me first before you speak with Jasper. Do you understand?
Correct.
I will assume this is a yes. She reaches into her robes and she pulls out this small pendant. It's this black obsidian shape. It's basically like a dodecahedron, like a D20. And she will slide it across the table towards you. This is something that we use to keep in contact with our long-range associates. It will allow you to send a message when you need to get in contact. Are you familiar with any kind of spell casting or the ability to transmit messages over distance?
Correct.
You know
the no-quay.
The no-quay, okay. In essence, this will give you the ability to send me a message of 25 words or less, no matter where you are. And yes, it does take into account the fact that you have a particular inability to express yourself. Simply think the words and they will appear in my mind. Do you understand?
Sure. And I chuckle a little bit.
Good. As an added incentive, and to prove that we are on the same side in this regard, she reaches, basically she sort of tucks in her hand into a sleeve, and she slowly pulls out a small wrapped package, and she slides it over towards you. It is black velvet cloth. Consider those a gift of good faith. I do hope that we can be of use. Do you pick up the package?
Yes, and I unwrap it.
Okay. Inside the black velvet cloth, you find 3 solid shards of obsidian, highly polished, beautifully carved, perfectly balanced. Mechanically speaking, these are 3 plus 1 daggers. They're rather expensive, and I know you have a habit of throwing things around, so do make sure you do not lose them. They will not be replaced. Is there anything you wish to know before I leave? I have other things I must do. Are you just basically trying to leave?
Yes.
Okay, as you try the door, you notice the door is not opening. I will take that as a no. She waves her hand and the doors and windows unlock. Thank you. Good day. And I assume you leave and join the rest of the group?
Basically.
Okay. How does Tahu feel about this encounter?
Fine.
Okay. Got some new daggers out of it.
Tahu just has a new job, an additional job on top of his job.
Exactly.
For the moment.
So, Jurnis, Ang, as you guys are chilling out by the fire, eventually you notice Tahu returns, or maybe you didn't notice him leave at all. Is there anything anyone wishes to do as the night progresses before we move to the next day?
It helps if I'm not muted.
It does, yes.
Yeah, and there's also something I want to do too.
How much do
Jurnis
these
is
daggers weigh?
basically going to flick through the holy book she has and get progressively drunker as she thinks about what the nun told her.
Okay. In answer to your question, Cream, yeah, I know I am actually going to fix the inventory system in Roll20. I will flat out say weight is not going to be a factor. We're going to ignore that. So don't worry too much about that for now.
All those daggers just to calculate their weight? You mess it up on me?
I know! I'm sorry!
I'm just
I know.
kidding.
It is what it is. But yeah, I would say these are fairly light, perfectly balanced. They are sharp. These are masterfully made. Yeah. So these are some nice. It's gonna
be hard to break.
Yeah, these are some nice freaking daggers. So yeah, those are +1. Okay.
And I told you what I want to do.
Yes. Okay then. Unless anyone else has anything they wish to do, I would say, yeah. No, Ice. Was that Dog?
Yes.
Okay, Dog.
Everyone can do their stuff first, but I just wanted you to know that I wanted to do something.
I think it's your turn, Dog.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yes. Let's hear from Dog.
Fuck. Oh fuck. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna go. Well, I guess I want to go outside.
You currently do have a gnome still on you. Are you looking to release yourself from your backpack?
Yes.
Okay. I would say, just for the sake of argument, eventually Gloth basically sits down over here next to Graz.
Okie doke. Then yes, I would like to go outside the tavern. And,
Are you trying to avoid being seen by anyone, or?
Yes.
Give me a stealth check, please. Like a ninja in the night.
Heck yes. Okay, so
You're over here, by the way, so...
Where's the door?
Okay, it's to... There you go.
Right here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I forgot it lights up when I move. I can't see.
Dynamic lighting.
Okay, so, basically I'm just gonna kind of stand there. I'm gonna turn my head into the wind.
Okay.
And sniff.
Give me a... That's a stealth check. Give me a... investigation. It's a very cold wind. Some strange smells on there. Very damp. Very unpleasant. Not much of use to you.
Slightly
Okay.
Smoke.
Okay, then I will go back inside and lay by the fire.
Okay. So, everyone eventually makes their way to sleep. Or at least the closest that they can get to it.
Yes.
Chemise.
Here we go.
Yeah, that was like so wonderfully resigned.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You feel the presence of your ever-present companion, your friend, at the back of your mind.
Oh.
You had something you wished to discuss, my dear.
Yes. She looks over. Is Icarus asleep yet?
I mean, as far as you know.
I would say this as well. You are actually capable of... I don't know if telepathy is the best way to describe it, but you don't need to be speaking out loud in order to communicate with your friend.
She's not. So do I have to roll perception on to see if he's asleep?
You may. He's fine.
Oh! I don't even need to bother against that.
Yeah.
God dang
it.
No, it wasn't on that one at least.
An unnatural one.
Does he look asleep? Does he look asleep?
With a one, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Must be. He's fine.
Chemise
you know, humanoids, living people. There.
Yeah. She stands and takes a step over to stand near his bed. Do I have to roll stealth?
You may. Not a single floorboard creaks. Not a single swish of fabric. You are silent as death.
Has enough time passed that I could get back one of my second level spell slots?
I would say that given the... I would say that you have had the equivalent of at least a short rest, certainly. You have got a short rest.
Actually, I have one left, so...
What is it that you wish to do? And by the way, that was the friend who said that.
Yes. she turns in. She says, "I'm going to turn invisible first."
If you
Interesting.
wish.
What do we do about him? You said you had something in mind.
Yes. The humanoid mind can be easily steered. Controlled, not so much, but steered is something altogether different. I just need him to be unconscious, just asleep. And then I'm going to see what he's made of.
Yes.
I would recommend keeping this up, though, my dear. Should things go poorly, it would do to have a means of vacating the area.
Of course.
The
I'm not really
barriers
even here
that-
after all.
The barriers that I have set up to protect you from him are not infinite. Even I have my limitations.
For now.
So, the question is, Sir Icarus, are you actually asleep or are you feigning sleep?
I've been thinking about how to deal with this issue. I'm gonna roll a d4.
Okay.
On an even, he's awake. On an odd, he's asleep. He's asleep.
Good.
I used
His
to stay
voice that
awake
Chemise
all
is.
night and watch that weird.
He tried! He tried!
I'm gonna stay up for Santa Claus.
Look at her stomach rising and fall. Rising and fall.
Oh, these psalms are always so dreary.
Old Paladin books, these'll keep me awake.
Okay,
And thus it was the line of succession did
Anyway, back to track. So, your friend, you feel, it's strange, you feel your mind not so much stretch, but expand. The room, you do have this very brief moment of vertigo, as the influence of your dark passenger moves from your body. Yes, he's asleep. Good. If you would mind waiting near the door or the window, whichever you prefer, I won't
She heads for the door.
Good girl. I won't be too long. So, Sir Icarus,
Fun times.
what are you dreaming about? What do paladins dream of?
Ah, damn it. Memories of home, memories of Yabohari, a wonderful land that he misses, especially now that he's so far away in hostile territory. Thinking about parents he never really knew. That brief year, maybe not even that, because Arrocakkra, they grow pretty fast. So it's all fuzzy. The memories he has of his actual family. But he does dream of them, of people he never really knew, of fun times that he may never have really had, toys that were played with, stuff like that.
Tell me about your family. How many of you were there?
Ooh. Is this actually being asked in game?
That's a good question. Yes.
So,
It's not so much you don't hear a creepy voice in your head. You get these impressions of... You have these images of the family you barely knew, and then at the back of the mind you think, many were there.
It's not much. No, fuck it, I'm doing this in character.
Yes.
Just me, my mother, and my father. I don't remember much. Just the fact that they were much bigger than me, and they were very warm to the touch.
Where are they now?
Gone. Purified in up sepsis's flames. Like I said to Miss Chemise, they don't discriminate.
So your own family were burned alive or undead?
Undead. They were turned, and were about to turn on me before the clerics and paladins of Sepsis turned up. They were purified, so was I, but I was reborn and lived.
Remember with me, won't you? Give me, Icarus, a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
That'll be a 9 then.
9. The images... focus is not the word. Intensify. Everything is hot. Everything... fire. You think back on what you remember. Your family. Flame. The images are disjointed, out of sequence, repeating. You see your family happy, undead, burning, undead, happy, over and over again. Each time things seem different, the details change. Sometimes it was in the day, sometimes the attack was at night. What do you see?
Now here's the question I have for the DM.
Yes.
Do you want what Icky knows, or do you want the truth?
I want what Icky knows to be the truth.
Oh?
That he has known his whole life.
Interesting way of wording that.
Yeah, exactly. This is what he knows is to be the truth.
Alright. Well, Icarus sees, according to his recollections, according to what he was told by the church, like the undead coming upon like the home of his family. And at first, they seemed like perfectly ordinary people. So his parents, being the nicer sort of folk, took him in. But the moment they were behind closed doors, the hunger took them. So the undead turned on Icky's parents, took a big old bite out of them. And in time, they turned too. And it didn't take all that long. And then, soon after, the hunger gnawed away at them. And, well, the only one was left was their little birdie boy, Icarus. Little Icky. But before Icarus could become a meal, there came the clerics and the paladins, throwing fire everywhere. And as previously mentioned, it's indiscriminate. The house, the home, all of the undead in it, parents and strangers alike, and a child no older than 1, burned to a crisp. And from there on, Icarus only remembers the pain, crying, screaming, agony, as a body so small and fragile that really had no business surviving all that just kept clinging on and on and on till he was eventually picked up by a strange figure that he did not recognize and carried off. And I'd say that's as far as his recollection of the event itself would be. Would go, rather.
You feel, as well as the emotions that, well, you have always felt when you feel these memories, at the back of your mind, you feel an unusual sensation. Interest. Enthusiasm? As the images eventually, the cycle eventually fades, you find yourself in a new setting. This is an image that you do not recognize. It is a cold, grey, dark place. Cold as ice. And as you look around, you feel at the back and between your shoulder blades, you feel a heat burning and growing. And as your mind's eye turns, you see, I don't know why you went up so big. Why did you do that? No. Sorry. There we go. Anyway, so you feel the warmth of what appears to be a sun. You feel yourself floating in the void, illuminated by this glowing orb, this pure, radiant light, heat. And as your mind's eye turns again, the sun is bright. It's hard to look at.
Yeah.
As you turn your eyes away, you see that it's illuminating a globe, a round world. You see land masses, continents, clouds. Give me a, I would say, history with advantage.
Okay, gonna use the actual advantage tab this time because I keep forgetting that's a thing. Nat 20.
Oh, there you go. It takes you half a second to recognize the various land masses and everything of the world you know as Voarcel. As the details register, your eyes briefly glance towards the mountain range of Yabal Hari.
Home sweet home.
As you think on that, it starts to expand, and you feel like you are moving closer and closer to it. The image of the world itself expands and gets closer and closer, and as you become closer to that, you feel further and further away from that warm, radiant light.
Aww.
As you enter the atmosphere, It's not so much a consistent zoom in effect, or not so much that you are traveling directly in space. It's more the impression of seeing the wider world, and suddenly you are above the Cruxian Combine, the continent that you call home. Then you are closer, now moving a little away from your home of Yavalhari, away from the mountains that you call home, and more towards the east, to the spectral coast. And as you move closer and closer, you find yourself above the city of Cuz Velgrim. This is where you stop for a moment, hovering. You see the city laid out before you, with the towering wooden structures, the wooden skyscrapers of the Veril Quarter, the black spires of the Black Keep, the obsidian walls, the deep sinkhole of the wilds, and it's the light and the sounds of the town of Grimscar contained within. And as you take in the details of the city, you feel movement again, the images change, and you find yourself rushing to the dark part of the sinkhole, deeper, and you are within it. You feel stone, you feel cold, you feel an iciness. What little heat you had felt from the sun previously is gone. And the coldness of the void of space, that was like a sauna compared to what you feel here. In the darkness, you keep moving deeper and deeper. You feel as the images, as you go deeper, it's hard to focus on the details as things flash by, but you feel skittering, you hear, you smell, you... Give me a perception check.
Straight 10.
A straight 10. I would say it's hard for you to quantify, and it's hard to put it in words, these sensations that go through your mind, but this is not solid earth. This is not as most people who travel on the surface would think. The ground beneath your feet is not solid. There's caverns, there's underground rivers, there's all kinds of things down there, but this is more. You think back to when you saw the world from afar, and it was filled with life. And as you headed to the city, all the little signs of the lights of Grimscar, the movement on the Veril Quarter, it was alive. This was a living city. And as you go deeper and deeper into the dark and the cold, that feeling intensifies. There is so much life down here. Alien, strange, and numerous. You almost feel like you're choking on the amount of life that is around you. And as you come out into this brief moment of pure blackness, there is solid white, radiant. You feel this air of, you don't know the word to describe it other than radiant beauty. There is no visual, you just feel warmth within yourself. You look down at the hands of your spirit form or whatever dream form this is. You are glowing with a white, pure radiance fire. And you find yourself kneeling in front of a figure, pure white, the same as you. You look up, you recognize this figure as Lady Chemise. And she holds out a hand to you. Trust me. I can save them all. Let me show you the way. Do you take her hand?
Icarus is going to take her hand.
As you take her hand, the light fades from her and moves into you. A surprisingly cool sensation travels up your arm, your chest, and wraps around your mind. You feel this presence within you. Now there are two of her. And I would say that's where you wake up.
Hot damn. So, is Chemise up?
Say that one more time, please.
Sorry, is Chemise up?
You look around. Chemise does not appear to be in the room.
Trying to think of. That was just such an. Ah, fucking. Lady Chemise? Are you around?
I would, and that was the public thing, by the way, D. But yeah, I would say, while your friend technically left you to your own devices, you caught trace images of that. Give me a, I would say, give me a wisdom saving throw, Chemise, or a wisdom check, whichever one is the highest, to see if you could piggyback on that dream. Otherwise, you would not have much of an idea. Yeah, unfortunately, you have no idea what your friend did. But after a moment, you see Icarus sit up, call for you. And after a moment, you feel a familiar presence return to you. I think he's ready. I basically implied that you were someone to trust. The rest is up to you. Are you muted, D?
An invisible smile crosses Chemise's invisible lips, and she stands beside the door, saying nothing.
Okay. Meanwhile, Jurnis.
Uh-oh.
How much were you drinking?
She had a few drinks. I would say she's happily tipsy, but not sloshed.
Okay. You've had a pretty decent sleep, all things considered. You have... Actually, yeah, that's a question. What does Jurnis usually dream of?
Since she came to the Grim, she's had that... The dream I sent to you a while ago, she's had that a few times. Mostly, she drinks enough where she doesn't actually have dreams.
So it's rare for her to have too many dreams, I see. Okay, well... After passing out nearly blotto drunk, as per usual, you do feel the sensation of time passing, as it usually does, and the slight unevenness of the floor around you. The bed seems to be moving as it usually does, but you're used to it. It's a comfortable discomfort, if that makes sense.
Is it one of the recliner beds that Glorth made?
It is, actually. It is one of Glorth's patent... It's the original. Yeah. The numero uno. So, as the recliner bed is moving, apparently under its own volition, you do start to feel there is a certain coherence that you don't usually get in images seem to start to form in your mind. Instead of comfortable, the moisture of the alcohol and everything, there's a dryness to the air. And the bright light is starting to burn your eyes. When you open them, the sky is a burnt red. Amber, blood, dusty, dry, wrecked, ruined wasteland all around you. Oddly enough, you don't feel fear. You almost feel nostalgia. You're not sure why. Give me an intelligence check, please.
The player has suspicions. Straight intelligence?
Yes. Or a religion check, given what you were reading.
Sure, we'll go with religion. Why is it sending it twice?
I will go with a 13 since it seems appropriate. You look up and the sky is roiling, clouds, thunder in the distance. The Lake of Fire is also kind of on brand. You think this is hell.
Oh dear.
What do you do?
Is panic a viable option?
It's always a viable option.
She's going to look around to see if she could find out how she got here and if there's a way out of here.
Give me a perception check, please.
Again.
19. Oh, yeah, the double click, yeah. It might be something with your mouse. I've had similar issues myself. But yeah, with a 16, I would say, as you're looking around, it's weird because you felt the sheets around you. You felt the bed, but as you got up and moved, there is no bed there. And as you look at your hooves on the ground, broken dirt and dust everywhere, the only impressions that you seem to be making are the ones you're doing right now. It's like you just got there. As you're looking around, you see the ruins of buildings that once were. The architecture seems unusual. Classic, almost, but burned, scarred. Almost like it's been burned away by acid. As you're looking around, the sky to, I would say, the west, you notice this, what you assume to be a cloud, this hair, this black rip, a gash in the sky. Around it, warm birds move, something. Thought it was maybe a cloud or something, but clouds don't move that way. As you're focusing on the detail, you hear a voice behind your ear. You know, you really should visit more.
Spin around to see who's there.
You spin around. Right round, baby. Right round. And you are nose to nose with a rather unusual looking individual. Red skin, curved horns, slightly mocking smirk, black armor, scarred and pitted. As you look, you're close enough to see, she actually looks fairly rough, a little out of breath, injured. And as you take a step back, you see the hooves, the black wings, the slightly glowing amber eyes. As I said, though, you really should have called in advance. I would have cleaned up a little.
Who are you and how did I get here?
Well, darling, that's a bit of an obvious one, isn't it? She gives you a sardonic smirk. Who I am? Well, the name that I use, it means something here. True names are, how do I put this? If someone gives you their name, then they have a little bit of power over you. They can compel you to do things. Why would I give a stranger my name? It's Malfina, Jurnis. My name is Malfina. Have you ever been told that name before?
No. And you seem to know my name.
So, you've never been told my name. That's... I don't know if insulting is the word. But please do keep it to yourself. I'm serious about the power of names, especially in a place where you are. As to how you got here, you're not. Just consider this conference call. Your mind is here. Your body is back on that little rock. Safe haven, away from this hell. Literally.
And did you pull me here, or did you just come across me?
I wanted to have a little conversation. You can't blame me for showing concern. For one thing, that drinking of yours, really. You need to watch that liver, darling. You're too much like your father.
At the mention of that, Jurnis is just gonna stiffen. It's like, you're not telling me something I feel you probably should.
I'm not telling you many things, darling, because they're plainly obvious. Your father didn't raise an idiot. So, she gives you holds out her hands in sort of like a ta-da. Say it.
You're my mother?
There we go. Honestly. I'm amazed he never talked about me. He didn't even share my name with my own daughter. Now that is actually insulting. I should have a word with him.
Leave him alone.
Why? I have never done anything untoward to him. I've protected him, protected you, several times. Which is rather difficult considering my position.
See, Jurnis's face is just like a mess of emotions right now.
Darling.
Mostly she's just looking confused, kind of angry.
Okay, let's start with this. What did he actually tell you about me? That I saved his life? That I gave him strength, both of character and of body? That I gave him one of the best nights he ever had? That I gave him a daughter? That I have protected him and that village, despite my personal grievances with those people after, she gestures to your back, they mutilated my child.
If you knew about that, why didn't you do something about it?
I did. Believe me, my dear, I did everything I could. As I said, am limited in what I can do.
What did you do?
I terrified them. I told them that if they ever harmed another hair on your head, I would devour their souls. And the souls of their children's children's children. Between us, I could barely knock over a fly. Trying to intimidate people with looks is one thing. Actively interfering with a plane like the one you're on is another. It was all projections, images, Oh, on occasion I could briefly come through, or at least send a simulacrum of myself. But I am here. You are there. Try and hit me. Yeah, no, seriously, come, hit me.
Stop trying to hit me, hit me!
See, this is where, like, you get a nat 20.
Mm-hmm. Punch your mother in the face.
Jurnis is looking like really confused. Like, first off, she's kind of pissed off at this thing, and she's like, still in the back of her mind, is like, "Mommy."
She just sighs and holds up her fist, you know, like an open palm.
Dewey.
Alright, fine. If you're going to make me.
Yes! I called it!
Okay. That was possibly... There's a lot going behind this punch. The frustration, the fear, the confusion, and the decades of want? You're not sure, but you feel there's a connection there, but there's just like... And then you pass through almost. It's like an illusion. You do see Malfina, though. She kind of like shake her hand a little. Interesting. Not bad, my dear. But as I say, planeswalking, it's not you. You are not here. It's a copy of you, a projection of you. I mean, in rare occasions, you can interact, but in order for it to be lasting, you need to come through fully. And unfortunately, my interactions with the people of that little hole were limited to me showing up and looking very, very scared. It worked though, didn't it? They left you alone, for the most part.
For the most part, yes.
I'm sorry.
But why now?
Well, as I said, I don't approve of the alcoholism. You have a human bladder. You can only stand so much. So, the DM meant to say human kidney, but sure, human bladder.
44 ounces can only travel so fast.
But in all seriousness, I think you're ready for the next step. I know what it is that you want, Jurnis. She gestures to the back. And I know what you're planning to do to get it. I want you to be aware of the dangers that you are putting yourself in. I may not be able to physically interact as much as I would like, but I have eyes and I have ears. What you plan is unpredictable and dangerous. I'm willing to offer you an alternative.
And I have a feeling there's a large price tag attached to that.
Oh, straight to it. Yes, you are definitely my daughter. Yes. Full disclosure, my dear. She fixes you with a very serious look. I will never lie to you. Never.
Insight.
Roll it.
Alright. Are you going to just roll once for me, or are you going to go crazy again?
Let's find out.
God damn it. Why is it doing that?
She looks very serious. Beforehand, everything's had this slightly sardonic, mocking tone that feels very similar to that little voice you sometimes get in the back of your head. The inner devil. But right now she is deadly serious. What I offer does come with a cost. Everything has a cost. If anyone tells you you're getting something for free, that is when you need to be the most afraid. I have
I've
my...
learned that lesson.
I know. Trust me when I say I have your best interests at heart. However, nothing comes without a price. I would require a service in kind. If you were to do... How do I put this? Your nature, your blood, my blood, allows for certain regenerative properties. Were you to tilt the balance less in favor of the humanity, more in favor of my side of the family, your wings could be restored. Actually, no. Your wings would be restored. Fact. It would require a deal. In return, you would become a little more like me. And I would ask you to acquire resources for me. Sign contracts with other individuals. I would be their patron, give them portions of my power. While physically I can do little, I can use others as a means of influence.
You basically
But of
want
course.
me to act like your recruiter.
Exactly that. Exactly that. Jurnis, I'm not going to lie to you. I need your help. There's a reason I made sure that you were there on that side of the divide. I need to get out of here. And I need your help. And with that, considering we're a little over time, would we say that's a good point to leave?
Yes.
Sure.
Some of us need sleep.
Yeah, I know. I saw the time and it was like, oh, I want to carry on. But no, we got, life. 2020. So, play the game. Play the game?
I'm just going to give it to you, Dennis.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I will take that. Well,
Icarus's journey was just like, mwah.
Oh, thank you.
That's why I didn't fight back against it. It was a very convincing case.
Yes.
All
so,
done without dialogue.
Thank you. Like I say, I wanted to try something a little bit different with this one. A little less combat-y, a little more theatre of the mind. So, theories, questions. I think I broke my players.
Jurnis has new mommy issues.
Yeah. Mommy needs help, darling.
Hey, I'm not judging it, darling. I've got daddy issues too.
Right now, Jennifer's just like genuinely concerned. Like, did she do something to her dad after she left?
Distressed tiefling noises.
Ah! Yeah, it's like the way she worded it is making Jurnis a little concerned about what she's done. Oh, and she went right for a weak spot. She went right for a nerve. And now Jurnis doesn't know how to handle this, considering Mama's asking her to do something that she has literally spent her entire life to distance herself from.
Well, there is definitely going to be a much longer conversation between these two. However, of course, because some of our players, unfortunately, do need their rest because, you know, this is an international game and everyone's in different time zones.
With shitty schedules.
Yeah. But at least we got to play this week.
Yes, we did.
In
So
order to
Tahu-
breaking several speed limits.
Yes.
No, I'm joking, I didn't.
Yeah, I know you were joking. You're always
So-
a respectful driver, Jurnis.
I will say,
I would
like,
say, yeah.
of course there's life beneath Castle Grim. Just so much life, and we just need to let it out. Nothing would go wrong, and Sepsis said so.
I mean, I can save everyone. Trust me.
Eh? Trust in my
I
God
would
in his
save
vague
them all.
visions.
Trust me.
Of course.
That's a paladin's job.
Basically, yeah. A Sepsis isn't the type of god that would be direct, considering he is the fucking sun.
Literally.
Chemise is
Sepsis
now
is the
humming
sun.
Trust in Me from Kaa in the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Trust in me.
Just
In
in
me.
me.
Close your eyes.
Doc was looking for something.
Yes.
Yeah, what was dog all about?
Yeah. Well,
And Tahu
just a dog.
got the boss's boss breathing
Yeah.
down his neck.
That was a thing.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
because Tahu's a yes and no man.
You never know with him.
Yep.
Trying to say something, are you muted?
I'm not muted.
No, we can hear him. We can hear him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear it.
I didn't hear him in my headset.
So, yeah.
I would. Yeah.
How go around the list and say good nights.
Good night, Jurnis.
Oh, I'm the DM. I'm supposed to do it.
Yeah.
Sorry, you missed one session and it just all goes a little bit wrong. I
We've
apologize.
all forgotten everything.
D&D's
Don't
hard.
forget.
So that's going to be a good night from Dog. I heard you. Okay, she said woof. Unfortunately, it didn't come through on the microphone. There you go. That's going to be a good night from Sir Icarus.
Good night, everybody.
A good night from Cream.
Wait.
A good night from D.
Good night, everyone. Sleep well. Pleasant dreams. Hurry back. Hurry back.
A good night from Icy.
Good night, everyone.
And a good night from Mommy's favourite.
Oh dear God. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Night.